il est porté à la connaissance de la communauté nationale et internationale que M. Ali Bongo Ondimba est gardé en résidence surveillée. Il est entouré de sa famille et de ses médecins. Peuple gabonais, c'est enfin notre essor vers la félicité que Dieu et les mânes de nos ancêtres bénissent le Gabon. Honneur et fidélité à la patrie, je vous remercie.
I'm Ali Bongo Ondimba, President of Gabon, and I'm to send a message to all the friends that we have all over the world to tell them to make noise, for the people here have arrested me and my family. My son is somewhere, my wife is in another place, and I'm at the residence. Right now, I'm in the residence, and nothing is happening. I don't know what's going on. So I'm calling you to make noise, really. I'm thanking you. Thank you.
On the 30th of August 2023, a coup occurred in Gabon shortly after the announcement that the incumbent president Ali Bongo Ondimba has won the general election held on 26th of August. This particular coup brought an end to the 56 years long rule of the Bongo family over Gabon. Since their independence from France in 1960, Gabon has primarily been ruled by the Bongo family, starting with President Omar Bongo in 1967. Omar Bongo passed away in 2009, which was when Ali Bongo Ondimba came into power. Ali Bongo was re-elected in an election in 2016, which prompted a failed coup attempt in 2019. During the rule of the Bongo family, the country has been plagued with the accusation of corruption and nepotism. Several elections have been tainted by reports of frauds and irregularities. To understand why and how the coup happened, we need to look at how the August 2023 elections of Gabon panned out. The election was held on August 26, 2023. The incumbent president Ali Bongo, who was seeking another re-election, was declared winner, according to an official announcement on 30th of August. However, allegations of electoral fraud, rigging and irregularities immediately emerged from the opposition party, casting doubt over the legitimacy of the election's results. Among those who criticized the result was Albert Ondo Osa, who came second in the election. He claims he won and urges Bongo to facilitate a peaceful transfer of power. The country was placed under curfew, and the internet service was cut off throughout the nation. These measures were implemented by the government to prevent spread of false news and potential violence. So with the growing unrest and widespread protest over the conduct of the elections, the armed forces of Gabon launched a coup on August 30th, just few minutes after Bongo's re-election was declared. It all started with high-ranking officers seizing control of key government buildings, communication channels, and strategic points within the capital. An announcement was made afterwards by around a dozen military personnel about the end of the existing regime, with a military spokesperson claiming to be speaking on behalf of a committee for the transition and restoration of institution. They announced the annulment of the recent election, the dissolution of the State Institute, closure of the country borders. They announced the arrest and home detention of Bongo and his eldest son. Also, the arrest of President of the National Assembly, Mr. Richard Auguste Onuvie, Presidential Chief of Staff Ian Gleislen Ngulu, and his deputy Mohamed Ali Saliu, the presidential spokesperson Jesse Ella Akoba, and another presidential advisor, and two other top officials were also arrested on the charges that included treason, embezzlement, corruption, and so on. Suitcases and bags filled with billions of Central African francs were reportedly seized from their homes. Ngulu claims that some of the money was part of Bongo's election fund. General Bryce Oligi Nguema, who is the commander of the Republican Guard, was later installed as the interim president by the military junta. In an interview, he said that the military staged the coup due to the discontent that had been growing in the country since, and also because of Bongo's decision to run for a third term, thereby disregarding the country's constitution, and also because of the election's misconduct. He has promised that the dissolution of the state institution would only be temporary. He promised to hold a free and fair election, but did not give an exact date as to when it will happen. Now, following the announcement of the coup, celebrations broke out in the streets and in other cities across the country. Also, a spokesperson for the opposition party thanked the army for standing up to an electoral coup without bloodshed, and also called on it to finish counting the results of the annulled election and then formally recognize the victory of its candidate, Albert Ondo Osa. However, Mr. Albert himself criticized the coup, calling it a disappointment. Ex-President Ali Bongo, who has been in detention since the coup, is now free to go abroad for his medical checkup. There hasn't been any violence and borders are opened. Also, every other thing has been restored. Also, this is not entirely a new concept. Military coups were irregular occurrences in some part of Africa in the decades after independence. Now, after a period of relative democratic stability, there are indications that these things are on the rise again. But a lot of people have expressed concerns about the resurgence of unconstitutional changes of the government. The takeover in Gabon is just the latest in a string of coups that has taken place in the recent years, and comes just a month after soldiers took control here in Niger. There were 2 in Burkina Faso in 2022, as well as failed coups attempts in Guinea-Bissau, the Gambia and the island nation of Sao Tome and Principe. In 2021, there were 6 coups attempts in Africa. 4 of them were successful. Despite Gabon being a member of OPEC, one of Africa's major producers of oil, which accounts for 60% of the national revenue, and having one of the highest per capita GDPs on the continent, Gabon faces serious socio-economic crisis. A third of its population lives below poverty line of $5 per day, and the unemployment rate among Gabonese aged 15 to 24 was estimated to be at 40% in 2020.